Number 1. Beetroot, the nitrate king. A single glass of beetroot juice has been shown in trials to lower systolic blood pressure by several points within a few hours, and it is one of the most consistently replicated food effects in the entire nutrition literature. Beetroot is extraordinarily high in dietary nitrate, which your body converts into nitric oxide, the molecule your blood vessel walls use to relax and widen. Romans grew it for medicine long before anyone ate the root as a vegetable. If hills have started to feel steeper and you find yourself stopping halfway where you never used to, part of that is how well your blood vessels open under demand. Nitric oxide production falls significantly with age, which is one of the quieter reasons both blood pressure and exercise tolerance change after 60. Beetroot addresses that specific mechanism directly rather than indirectly. Bacteria on your tongue convert dietary nitrate into nitrite, which your body then turns into nitric oxide, and this is why using antibacterial mouthwash has been shown to blunt the blood pressure effect of nitrate-rich foods entirely. Multiple randomized trials and several meta-analyses have found beetroot juice produces modest but genuine reductions in systolic pressure. The effect is real, it is measurable, and it is temporary, so it depends on regular intake. Drink about a cup of beetroot juice daily, or eat 2 whole roasted beets, and expect your urine to turn pink, which is harmless and startles everyone the first time. Raw beetroot costs about $1.50 a pound, far cheaper than the bottled juice. Do not use antibacterial mouthwash on the days you rely on it. The next one is a leaf that carries even more nitrate per bite than this root does. Number 2. Rocket, sold as arugula in America. The highest nitrate leaf. Gram for gram, it contains more dietary nitrate than beetroot does, and it needs no juicing, no cooking, and no preparation at all. This is the leaf I mentioned at the very start of the video. It is a peppery brassica related to mustard and cabbage, and Romans grew it as both a food and a medicine. If juicing beetroot every morning sounds like something you will do for a fortnight and then abandon, this is the version that survives real life. A handful of leaves thrown onto whatever you were already eating takes 4 seconds and delivers the same nitrate pathway. The best intervention is always the one you will still be doing in 6 months. Analyses of vegetable nitrate content consistently place rocket, spinach, and lettuce at the very top, above beetroot itself, sometimes by a considerable margin depending on the soil the crop was grown in. The same nitric oxide pathway applies, and trials of high nitrate leafy vegetables have shown blood pressure reductions broadly comparable to beetroot juice. Rocket also carries potassium, calcium, vitamin K, and the glucosinolate compounds that all brassicas share, which is where its peppery bite comes from. It is worth knowing that nitrate from vegetables behaves very differently in the body from the nitrite added to cured meats, which is a distinction that confuses a great many people. Eat it raw, because cooking degrades some of the nitrate, and dress it with olive oil and lemon. A bag costs about $2, and a pot on a windowsill will regrow for months if you cut rather than pull it. It grows from seed in about 4 weeks and tolerates cool weather. The next one grows in running water and was Britain's original health food. Number 3. Watercress, the forgotten spring green. It is another very high nitrate leaf, and it also carries more vitamin K, more calcium per calorie, and more vitamin C than almost anything else in the salad aisle. Victorian London ate it by the bunch as a breakfast food, sold on street corners and called poor man's bread. It grows wild in clean running water across Europe and North America. If you bruise more easily than you used to, or a small cut takes longer to stop, vitamin K is part of that story, and watercress is one of the richest sources there is. That said, this cuts both ways, and if you take warfarin, a sudden jump in vitamin K will directly interfere with your medication. Consistency matters more than quantity there, so talk to whoever manages your dose before you start eating it daily. Watercress combines the nitrate pathway with an unusually dense mineral profile, and it belongs to the same brassica family as broccoli and cabbage, carrying similar sulfur compounds. Small human studies have looked at watercress and markers of oxidative stress with modestly encouraging results. Though the sample sizes are small and the research is nothing like as strong as the nitrate evidence. The nitrate and potassium content, however, are simply measurable facts. Eat it raw in sandwiches or blend it into a soup with potato and stock, which softens the peppery edge considerably. A bag costs about $2.50 and it wilts fast, so buy it the day you need it. Never pick it from the wild unless you know the water is clean, because it concentrates whatever is upstream. The next one is the leaf your grandmother boiled and your generation forgot. Number 19, hibiscus tea, the trial-backed tea. And this is the one I teased at the beginning. Multiple randomized controlled trials and several meta-analyses have found that drinking hibiscus tea produces measurable reductions in both systolic and diastolic blood pressure, with effects in some studies comparable to low-dose medication. It is made from the dried calices of the roselle flower, and Egypt, West Africa, and Mexico have all drunk it for centuries under different names. If you drink tea all day out of habit, swapping 2 of those cups for this one is genuinely the easiest change in this entire video. It requires no new habit, no cooking, and no shopping beyond 1 bag of dried flowers. It is also caffeine-free, which matters if you drink tea in the evening and your sleep has become fragile. Meta-analyses pooling the hibiscus trials have consistently found average systolic reductions of several millimeters of mercury, which at a population level is a meaningful figure. The mechanism appears to involve both a mild diuretic effect and inhibition of an enzyme that pharmaceutical ACE inhibitors also target, which is exactly why the caution matters. If you already take an ACE inhibitor, adding hibiscus is a conversation with your doctor. It may also interact with some diabetes medications. Steep a heaped teaspoon of dried hibiscus in hot water for 10 minutes, twice a day, which is roughly the dose used in the trials. It is naturally tart, so add a little honey rather than sugar. A bag of dried hibiscus costs about $6 and lasts months, and it is far cheaper from Mexican or West African grocers where it is sold as flor de Jamaica or sorrel. And now the last one, which has been studied more than everything else here put together. Number 20, garlic, the most studied of all, and this is the one sitting in your kitchen right now. There are more clinical trials on garlic and blood pressure than on any other food in this video, and meta-analyses pooling them have repeatedly found modest but real reductions in people who started with raised readings. The active compound is allicin, which does not exist in an intact clove and only forms when garlic is crushed or chopped and the cell walls break. That last detail is why so many people eat garlic constantly and get nothing from it. A whole clove dropped into a stew never makes any allicin at all. You have to crush or chop it and then leave it sitting on the board for about 10 minutes before it goes anywhere near heat, because heat destroys the enzyme that does the converting before it has finished the job. Meta-analyses of garlic supplementation trials have found average systolic reductions of around 8 millimeters of mercury in people with raised blood pressure, which is a genuinely useful figure, though most of those trials used concentrated aged garlic extract rather than the clove itself. Garlic also has a real blood-thinning effect, which is a meaningful caution if you take warfarin or aspirin or if you have surgery coming up. Tell your surgeon if you eat a lot of it. Crush 2 cloves, let them sit 10 minutes, then add them to whatever you are cooking near the end rather than the start. A bulb costs about 50 cents, and it grows from a single clove pushed into soil in autumn for harvest the following summer, which makes it one of the easiest crops there is. Nothing else in this video is this cheap, this well-studied, or this likely to already be in your kitchen.